Good evening, I'm Burnett. Out front tonight, making a joke of the Oval Office. President Trump turning a private meeting public, letting the cameras in, putting on what he does best, a reality show. It had a shouting match, finger pointing, the full deal here. Take a look.
No, we don't have the votes, Nancy, because in the Senate we need 60 votes.
No, but in the House.
And we don't
you
have.
could bring it up right now.
Yeah, but
today.
I can't, excuse me.
And you want to shut it down.
No,
you keep
no,
talking about
The
it.
last time, Chuck, you shut it down.
No.
And then you opened
20
it up very
times.
quickly. And
20
I don't
times.
want to do what you did.
The president turning a conversation with Democratic leaders into, well, it turned into this, the broken record rant about the wall.
You do not have the votes in the House.
Nancy, I do. And we need
Well,
border
let's take the
security.
vote, we'll find out.
Nancy, we need border security. It's very simple.
Of course we do.
People are pouring into our country, including terrorists. We have terrorists. We caught 10 terrorists over the last very short period of time.
20
But,
times
Chuck,
you have called for, I will shut down the government if I don't get my wall. None of us have said.
You want to know something?
You've said
okay.
it.
I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck, because the people of this country don't want criminals and people that have lots of problems and drugs pouring into our country. So I will take the mantle.
Okay, why the big show today? Well, this is what the president's been waking up to over the past couple days, right? The headlines referring to accusations from prosecutors that implicate the president of the United States in 2 felonies related to hush money payments to alleged mistresses. And tonight, Republicans are aiding and abetting President Trump and acting like these accusations of felonies do not matter.
On Friday night, federal prosecutors implicated the president in 2 crimes. Do you have any concerns about that?
I don't have any observations to make about that.
I don't agree with the assumption that he's been accused of a crime. I don't see that here. I see that
he's been implicated.
The Mueller investigation.
He's been implicated, Michael Cohen.
I disagree with that.
I don't care. All I can say is he's doing a good job as president.
And Republican Senator John Kennedy, who will join me in just a moment, is pointing the finger at the messenger, Michael Cohen.
Jesus loves him, but everybody else thinks he's an idiot.
Referring to Michael Cohen. These defenses of President Trump are a complete reversal for the GOP. You know, so you just heard Orrin Hatch, right? Now he says, I don't care. But when he voted to impeach President Clinton, Senator Orrin Hatch said, quote, this great nation can tolerate a president who makes mistakes, but it can not tolerate one who makes a mistake, then breaks the law to cover it up. Okay, now Mitch McConnell says he doesn't have any, quote, observations on the president being implicated in 2 crimes. But wow, Mitch McConnell, things were so different when Clinton was president.
Our nation is indeed at a crossroads. Will we pursue the search for truth, or will we dodge, weave, and evade the truth? I am, of course, referring to the investigation into serious allegations of illegal conduct by the President of the United States, that the President has engaged in a persistent pattern and practice of obstruction of justice. The allegations are grave, the investigation is legitimate, and ascertaining the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the unqualified, unevasive truth is absolutely critical.
I'm sorry. There's nothing you can say after that, is there? All right, Caitlin Collins is out front live outside the White House. I mean, Caitlin, the president tonight trying to force the felony headline off the front page, right? But he does appear to be serious about shutting the government down. What are you hearing?
Oh, he's very serious, and he later doubled down on what he said in a second Oval Office appearance today after that contentious fight. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer were long gone back to Capitol Hill, but President Trump said he stands by what he said, that if there is a government shutdown, that he is going to own it. Now, Nancy Pelosi went back to Capitol Hill, and when she was meeting privately with some of her Democratic colleagues, she said she couldn't believe that they got President Trump on camera essentially saying that he's going to own that shutdown, because that's exactly what they wanted him to say, and that's music to their ears, but it is not what Republicans on Capitol Hill wanted to hear from the president. Now, this meeting today wasn't expected to produce any magic and have them come to an agreement on what to do over the border wall, because they've obviously got these very different positions, but it also gave us a preview, Aaron, of what the next 2 years are going to look like, and that very striking power dynamic that we're about to see in Washington. And as Nancy Pelosi later said, while she was still in front of the White House, she said she does not think that President Trump is prepared for what it's going to look like when newly empowered Democrats take over the House come January.
All right, Caitlin, thank you very much. And I want to go now to the Republican Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana, member of the Judiciary Committee. Senator, a lot to talk to you about. I want to start, though, with what Caitlin is reporting on. The spectacle we saw in the Oval Office today, and the president saying, his words, point blank, he's proud to shut down the government over the wall. Are you okay with that?
I'm not okay with calling it a spectacle, Aaron. I frankly kind of appreciated, I did appreciate the transparency. I've been in a lot of meetings like that, and those kind of tough meetings among people that just disagree are pretty standard on Capitol Hill, and I think the American people can handle it.
So when he says he's proud to shut down the government over the wall, you don't think that was showboating or grandstanding? You take it face value, he's okay, he's going to do it?
I can't speak for the president. I can give you my perspective. I don't want to see government shut down. I think we ought to surprise ourselves and try to do something intelligent and try to work it out. Having said that, I don't think the president's bluffing. As I said earlier today, if I were playing poker right now with the president and I saw his facial expressions and his attitude across the table and I didn't have the cards, I'd fold him because I don't think he's bluffing. Now, you can debate whether that's good policy or bad policy.
Okay, what do you think? Are you okay with it? I mean, back to that question. Are you okay with him shutting down the government over the wall?
It depends on what about the wall that we shut it down over. I don't think there's any reason to shut the government down. I think
what do you mean, what about the wall? I mean, the wall.
I think that the $5 billion request by the president is a perfectly reasonable request. I think that legal immigration is very good for our country. I think illegal immigration isn't. I think walls work. Right. They're working in San Diego. They're working in El Paso. They're working in Yuma. They're working in Israel. They're working in Bulgaria. They're working in India. They're working in Saudi Arabia. Walls work. And if you believe in the rule of law, right, and you support legal immigration, and you think, as I do, that illegal immigration undermines it, then you should support the wall. I'm not suggesting, Aaron, that all the people that want to come to our country are bad people. Many of them are good people. Not all
right.
of them. Some of them are terrorists and drug dealers and members of gangs. But the point is that every country that I know of has a border, and they enforce it.
So when President Trump, apparently we are told, because then the cameras were off, right, then he was apparently told Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer Mexico is going to pay for the wall. The Mexican government has now come out and said to CNN, Mexico's position regarding the so-called wall is the same the previous government had. Mexico will not pay for it, no matter how you spin it. So I just want to be clear, Senator, you are fine with American taxpayers paying for this wall and President Trump shutting down the government over this wall?
No, I didn't say that, Eric. What I said was that I support border security. I think walls work. And I would like to see the president sit down with I think, soon-to-be Speaker Pelosi, who I think is calling the shots here. On this issue, I don't think Chuck's involved, really. I think it's Speaker Pelosi. I think on this issue, if you turn Speaker Pelosi upside down and shook her, Chuck would fall out of her pocket on this one. I think she's taken the lead. And I think we ought to try to work it out. But I would like to see, let me put it another way, Aaron. I haven't heard any arguments from Speaker Pelosi as to why a wall would not enhance border security. Okay. I've heard political arguments.
I will simply say, because I know we want to talk about a lot, and I just say this to put this out there because I want to make sure our viewers know. The Republican congressmen who represent the districts along the wall do not support a wall in this way. So I'm putting it out there. It's not just Nancy Pelosi. It's not just Democrats. There's plenty of Republicans who live right there along what would be a wall who don't think it's a good idea. I don't want to debate the wall for the whole interview. I just put that out there. I want to give you a chance to respond to this issue of campaign finance felonies, right? Prosecutors are implicating the president in 2 of these possible finance felonies. Obviously, Republicans mostly shrugging their shoulders. You obviously have attacked Michael Cohen, as I shared there, part of what you said, right? You said Jesus loves him, but everyone else thinks he's an idiot. How can you ignore 2 felonies?
I'm not ignoring felonies. I don't know where you got that one. I think the
Well,
violation.
you said Jesus loves him, but everyone else thinks he's an idiot, discrediting the guy who's alleging the felonies. It does sound like you are demeaning the felonies.
No, I'm being honest. I think he is an idiot. I think that he's a grifter. I don't think Mr. Cohen would know the truth if it jumped up, yodeled, and bit him in the ass. I don't know why the president would ever associate himself with this guy.